How's it going, guys?
Hey, hello, and welcome to another episode. And this may even look like another episode we had with VAUGHN. But this time he is back promoting his Kickstarter. Is it Kickstarter?
It's no, it's Fund My Comic. Though you know what? I'll promote my Kickstarter too. If you go to my website, there is the sign-up page for the Kickstarter, which I'm probably going to launch in February. But I figured, January, it being a slow month and all, I was like, I wanted to keep the momentum going. So here's like a month where let's see the most loyal. I'm going to have to be promoting anyway. So I was like, might as well give them the chance to spend money. And things have moved pretty well. I mean, they've slowed down, but I expected it with January. So for a January launch, pretty good. But it will be also available on Kickstarter next month.
Cool. So it is Fund My Comic right now. So definitely if you want to support it. And the great thing about supporting people, hey, there's the first issue.
Thank you, Mike.
about Mike will be Vanna White today. He will be holding up all this stuff. No.
I will be Dana White.
Dana White. There we go. We've said it before, but Fund My Comic is a great place to support creators, especially because the creators get a higher percentage than they do.
Which I definitely took note of when I was calculating my earnings to the end of the year. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And it all adds up. And as you know, from doing all the shipping and all the other stuff that,
in addition to what the campaigns take from you, which is substantial.
Which is a lot.
It hurts.
Yeah,
it was a gut punch.
Yep, it's definitely a wake up call and makes you think about everything. So it has there been? Have you changed any? Obviously you were making that decision. Have you changed any other stuff with the way that you are doing comics or doing your that business right now for moving forward with PHENOMENOVA #2?
Oh yeah, I've had to slow down a bit, but it's funny because it's like the book is basically done, but I'm taking extra time to really promote and really build my following and kind of try and figure out what works. Also sorting out some stuff in my personal life, but I'm like, oh yeah, I'm slacking in certain areas. I feel like I'm spreading myself too thin, and I keep trying to get back, and then I come with 50 new things, and then I spread myself thin again, and I'm like, nope. And it's like an accordion, it just keeps going back. But I would say I'm a better creator this time around, much better creator. So that's good. I'm kind of focusing on just the idea that I have a second issue right after the first is good. It's good for momentum. Moving fast is a good thing, especially because we live in an economy where people's time is, and I say it myself, you got to really snap at me. And I think that's the same with people. And comics are a tough medium but they're also kind of a special medium in that you can't do it when you're on a jog, listen to an audiobook or a podcast or a stream.
Vaughn, what do you do when you're not creating comics?
Oh God, promoting them. Lately I've been actually trying to get some work-life balance. I've been scrolling my phone too much was the problem, but generally, so I've been playing video games lately. I'm trying to read comics, but I haven't been. But when I'm not creating comics lately, I've been watching YouTube videos or playing video games lately is honestly what I've been doing. Or live streaming. When I'm not creating, I'm live streaming. So my whole life has kind of been, in a way, I'm hoping everything feeds into it in some way, shape, or form, right? So it's become a little, I'm sure you can understand this, it becomes all-encompassing. But when I'm not doing it, I try and enjoy entertainment. And I should make more time for it. But I still haven't seen the new Nosferatu, and I know I want to. I watched the original on a live stream. That was fun.
Yeah, and you, what are your? Are you still thinking about doing any film stuff?
Thinking about it, yeah. I think about ideas. Like even earlier today, I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I can't afford this right now. But of course, the ideas are part of me. They flow through me at some point, and I catch the bug. I mean, I'd love to. But I guess lately, yeah, it's been mostly last couple weeks. It's been mostly video games, and making shorts, making content.
Yeah.
It really has been pretty all encompassing.
Yeah.
It's honestly made me like my to read pile. I need to get to. In fact, I'll see if I could set aside some time today, if I can. But I've said that like every day. But I did read some Wolverine not that long ago. That was fun.
Yeah.
On Claremont's X-Men run, which is fun.
Yeah.
And right as I'm at the end, I came up with an idea. I'm trying to do more comic-based videos because one of the things is I've been promoting to an older audience, which is great because A, they have more money than the younger audience. But all right, just aside, they also have better taste. But the thing about it too is I just read older comics, and then when I start talking online, people making these shorts, like people who are around my age or younger, act like I'm bringing this fire from Olympus, and I'm like, this. No, wow, I didn't, and I'm like, I just like read the comics, dude.
Yeah,
But you know, I'm realizing I'm like, oh my god, I could really just entertain these people with that. So that's been fun.
Yeah. That's kind of like what the Marvel movies and some other things have done too, as far as like bringing younger people or people that weren't into comics to checking things out and discovering stuff that, you know, Mike and I've known about for like 30 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I that's how I first got into comics, and I'm realizing, I'm like, well, I got to get people into it somehow. You know, and you two played a role. It's funny because it's like, they're like, oh, Vaughn will bring in the young generation. I'm like, how am I going to, you know, I don't know. They're tough to reach, man. They really are. To be honest,
they don't read. That's the problem. We have a whole generation of kids here who don't read.
Oh, isn't that the truth? And I wish I could say I helped more to fix that than I do, but I'm writing, so that's something.
That's good.
I think that's part of it. I think ultimately things are going to shift because I think things moving too fast could often create misery. And I think part of the problem we have is when you create too much for in the moment. And to be fair, there have always been stories like this. I just think the problem's gotten worse. But like the problem is everything's just kind of a flash in the pan. And you know what happens? Nothing is timeless. It's also, I mean, even to add to the point, I was talking about this. There are movies that'll come out a couple years ago. They're like, oh, that would never be made today. I'm like, what? It just came out. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, so, and what they're implicitly saying is that nothing is timeless. And when nothing is timeless, that's the death of the art. That's the death of common ground. That's the death of really everything. And that leads to nihilism. And here we are.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've been flirting with nihilism for a while.
Oh yeah. More than flirting with it, man. I mean,
yeah, it's so are there you don't have to totally get into it, but are there any issues like that, like nihilism or anything else that you're going to be dealing with your comics?
I'm almost kind of, I don't want to like say too much, but I'm almost kind of railing against it in a way. If you've read issue 1, Dark Cloud ended up becoming, he went from an idea where I'm like, this is cool when I was a kid, to okay, let's extrapolate. And I would like take him out, put him back in, take him out. And then it was like, I found a way to make him work. He's kind of like, in some ways, he's more than this, but I would say almost, at least in the context of issue 1, he's like someone who's been through the whole wide-eyed heroism thing. And he's kind of like what Miles Galvanite would be like if he spit out in a certain way, where he's kind of, now he doesn't really believe in heroism. Now he doesn't believe in nobility. He actually thinks all kind of heroism and nobility is immature. And what PHENOMENOVA is issue 2 now is kind of expanding and finding that there is a middle ground, that, okay, running into a reactor after just getting your powers, maybe not the best idea, but also you don't have to become a criminal. You don't have to become evil, that there is nobility in being a hero.
Right.
But you also don't have to be an idiot about it. You know, there is a way to go about it. And I think that's issue 2 really is me slowing down and kind of chewing on the ideas that I introduced in issue 1, especially towards the end. You know, issue 1, a lot of people actually kind of like I know Mike, which this was high praise, obviously. It's very nerve-wracking, I will say, sending stuff to a writer you admire. And then when Mike was like, oh, it's good, I'm like, all right, can I get a quote on that? You know, because there's a lot of dialogue in issue 2 as well, but it seems like people actually really like the ending of issue 1. Which is good. And, you know, I kind of continue that conversation with issue 2.
That's cool.
Are you working with the same artist?
Yes, but a different colorist.
He's making the tough management decisions now.
Yeah. Well, I had to. Well, it's not even just because of that. It was a deadline thing.
Right.
Hopefully, I can get the same guy back for issue 3. Issue 3, I was hoping to move right into production on, but obviously that depends on how well issue 2 does. Which, if I have to spend more time marketing, I'm kind of accepting that that's just the process. Everyone gets those nihilistic thoughts, but I'm seeing my numbers. They're slowing down sometimes, but sometimes they're, they're there, and that's
I think it's also kind of an uncertain time in the economy still right now. Before with the transition of presidents, there usually is. I think most people are pretty hopeful that things are going to turn around. But obviously, we've seen, Diamond just filed for bankruptcy. And another shock was like Home Depot recently filed for bankruptcy.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And some other things. So it's like, yeah. So that's why I say, and that's why I've been telling like people that have been talking about doing crowdfunding things. It's like, just don't have unrealistic expectations. If you're looking at the world and seeing everything that's still happening and all the uncertainty, it's unfortunately part of the way it is. But honestly, the cool thing, especially for you and other people that are crowdfunding right now and plan to soon, is with Diamond and other things having issues. Crowdfunding might be stealing some more customers away.
Yeah, that's the hope, and that people will see things. When I look at the holes in the industry, it's one of the advantages of being independent and running my own business is I'm learning all this stuff that's annoying to learn,
right?
And running all these numbers that are annoying to run. But at the end of the day, it means I have a stronger understanding. Like I'm like, oh my God, print! Look how much of my budget is going to printing alone. If I was just digital, it'd be. And so I'm like, well, launching digital will be good. Who knows what's better for my company? And you have to learn to. There's obviously stubbornness. I can be very stubborn, but there's also a what does the customer want kind of deal. In terms of my new customers coming in, all the customers from issue 1 who are just buying issue 2, most of them tend to go physical because I gave them a good product. But listen, if most of my audience was like, we're doing digital, wouldn't bother me too much, because if anything, yes, I charge way more in physical, but that's because I have to.
Right.
Most people, I think, ideally would love to charge as little as possible and get as many people, but that's just not the way things are right now.
Yeah, and some people you can entice with the digital, and then they buy the digital and the physical.
Yes, I've had that too.
Digital to read and the physical to seal.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, one to collect and one to actually read.
Yeah, or even if you're making videos and you want to be able to pull up the digital anytime you're on the go, whatever.
Yeah.
It is. You want to be able to compare. There are some slight changes because of lead lines that I had to make to the physical, and I'm like, well, let's leave some of the original art in the digital. And so you do see some of the stuff that was cut for blue. It's nothing substantial, but you'll be like, oh, I didn't see that guy in the background in the physical, and it's stuff like that, like lead lines, things like that I didn't expect. And that's why sometimes it's good to just kind of jump in the water, is because if I was just like knew every single production task and they were just stacked in front of me when I started writing comics and publishing comics, things might have been different. But sometimes you got to learn to just go with the flow and just do things.
Well, yeah, and it sounds like you, unlike some people who will ignore stuff, although I'm sure everybody does that a little bit, but like at least it seems like you're paying attention and you're willing to pivot if you need to, like, and you're paying attention to what the people want, what they might not want, and it gives, and that's a good, obviously a good way to run a business is actually to be paying attention to your audience and your customers and stuff. But but especially like right now, it's a good time and a good way to be like that. But what was I going to ask about that? I was just going to say, because kind of like what you were saying about digital is right before the lockdowns happened. I remember being in like a Starbucks, and I was actually sitting there working on something. I wasn't even doing it. Yeah, but I looked around because it was a fairly large Starbucks, And I mean, everybody that was like, I don't know, like 20 to like 40, most of them were reading either webtoons or like Comixology, like on their phones.
Really?
And
Well,
I
that's
was
good.
like, yeah. And I was like, I was kind of shocked that, that I was like, wow. Cause I mean, you're like, oh, they're just, they're doing stuff on their phone or like what. And then I'm actually kind of looking at what I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. And yeah, that was what one of the things that made me more like, oh yeah, I can see this, could be to a certain audience. And like you said, I mean, I actually know a lot of people in other countries that because they ride on trains so much, well, like that's the way they read their comics a lot is on their phone or on a tablet, because they always have a trip to work and they got a trip coming home, and that's the way and then they'll buy the ones that they really like a lot. In physical.
So that's why you can read the first 10 pages of PHENOMENOVA issue 1 digitally on Global Comics, and then you could buy a PDF there. You could also link off to my website. Issue 1 you can buy on my website. You can also get it through Fund My Comic, and then later through Indiegogo and Kickstarter. All my links basically are going to be through my website. Keep it simple, keep it easy.
Yeah, and we will have links in the video here. I don't know that I'm going to be able to bring it up in here, but they will definitely be in the production. Do you know how to do it on StreamYard, Vaughn? If I were to put your things on here.
Yeah.
What
do you want to pull up?
Oh, any of your stuff that you wanted to, if you wanted to talk or show any of your the links, Fund My Comic, or your website, whatever.
Well, the thing is, everything links off from the Fund My Comic, which is nice. I made sure to make it nice and easy, so you can see that down here. Right. Then, of course, you could watch the trailer, and while we're there, we have the digital $5 buy-in for issue 2. I also decided to make issue 1 $5 digital because that's going to be my calling card, basically.
Right.
And so you can get both of them if you want them both to arrive at once there. Or again, you could even link off here, issue 1 free preview, and that will lead to, hey, you've read the first 10 pages. You could buy the PDF on that site. So you could buy that PDF, or you could buy just issue 1 off my website now if you prefer. Or you could do a catch-up tier and get them both at once, whatever you prefer.
What's the name of the website?
RebelOasisStudios.com. Is where you can go ahead and get it off my website. Again, that will be linked here. Buy issue on a mailing list. You could join that there. And then so we have issue 2. So I decided with this campaign that I'm going to make all of the covers the same price on the campaign, but these are just limited, and whatever is left over from the printer, because obviously that's you want to print a little extra just to be safe. Those will be marked up for double the price at conventions. So like these will be like $20 if they're left over at conventions. So the best way to get them would be now all $10. So you have $10 you can get plus shipping. You can get your physical issue 1, issue 2. Then you could obviously get the catch up with the cover, issue 2 cover, your choice. And then I have every combination. You can get 2 issue 2 covers, 3 issue 2 covers, all the issue 2 covers, catch up and all the issue 2 covers, 2 of everything. Then there's like every possible combination. Like if you want 1 of issue 1 and 2 of issue, whatever. I basically made sure that every combination is covered. And then of course I have the insane tiers. If even one person backs one of these, that's good. Now, there was a day 1 trading card you guys missed out on if you didn't back on the first day, but that's okay because if it backs, everyone gets this trading card right here.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and then there will be another at 10K, and then there's a Rebel Oasis sticker, and 20K is basically me saying, for sure, we're rolling right into production on issue 3, and as your reward, I'll reveal the issue 3 covers, which basically means I'm paying for the issue 3 covers, but that's only if we hit 20K.
Right.
So
that's cool. Very cool. Yep. Still, I still love the art and everything.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good. And what part, like, how are you involved as far as the as far as, are you the main writer? Are you a co-writer?
I'm the writer. Writer, publisher. I have an editor as well.
Yeah.
Vaughn, are you making a living at this?
Not yet. I hope to one day. Right now, I'm like part of personal life stuff is looking for a new day job. And today, basically, what I'm doing, especially in this economy, not going full force, is basically keeping all my numbers up. It's like what I'm part of why I'm doubling on YouTube, part of why I'm promoting so much. Well, because I have to. And then seeing if I can keep those numbers going up. And then eventually, if I'm at a place where I'm like, I could do it, I'd love to quit the day job and do this. But for now, everything's going back into the business. I want to keep like a good ship moving, you know. So,
well, and I will say, just so you know, the most of the people I know that are working at a lot of different indie publishers all have day jobs.
Yep.
So it's not uncommon for a professional, and that's what I've tried to tell people that have like that's like their dream to like work in regular mainstream comics. I'm like, dude, I was like, they're having day jobs and stuff now too.
Yeah, I'm learning. It was a harsh reality.
Diamond Distributors declared bankruptcy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that was unfortunate news to hear too. And it's also film was similar thing. I'm like, oh, most of you guys are, if you're not working day jobs, you're working 14-hour shifts where you're not even directing the movies. You're on it, you know, and that's the tough reality you face when you're a wide-eyed kid, you know, coming in. And does that mean that, you know, I get demoralized? I mean, everyone has their moments of doubt, but you know, you keep moving, especially when I have, you know, people like Mike Barron throwing praise my way definitely helps. You know, you're gonna have people tell me to keep going when I have numbers that are, you know, overall the interest in me and my book is increasing. You know, so overall I'm feeling good. Yeah,
and you're putting out. I mean, you're definitely putting out far above average quality and everything. So you should. Thankfully, you are, because there's people putting out bad quality that are doing okay, but I mean, the only way you can really ensure that you're gonna have good numbers is if you're trying to do your best and trying to work with the best people and trying to do, you know, and you're trying to do things right and you're doing them from your heart and everything, and all that matters, because so many people don't really give a crap and they don't really try that hard these days. So yeah, that's why. No,
it's tough. It's why when I'm like thinking of who I want to spend money on, I'm like, sometimes, you know, I'm like, hey, I don't know this person, but I know they're gonna. And now that I've proven it with my first book that, hey, I'll get things around. Like that was another reason why, even launching in January is whatever, but I want to prove that I'm on it. You know, the book is lettered. I just have to get some revisions. My editors in California, LA right now, so those have been delayed. You know, but man, I mean, I'm just. Things have been how they've been, but I want to show that I'm ready to keep going. You know, I'd love to eventually be putting these out at a regular rate. And that's part of where I'm like, should I pivot more digital? And I think I might make, you know, physical more. Initially, I was always leaning toward the physical being the main thing. And I'm like, maybe, but you know what? Ultimately, I'm going to let the free market decide. You know, I'm going to print what is asked of me. I'm also going to be tabling at my first cons this year. I've been technically tabled. WildCon this weekend. This will be in Wildwood, New Jersey, and then the following weekend, Garden State Winterfest. So New Jersey shows I'm going to be hitting as many as I can. I'm going to be at Heroes Con this year. I'm going to be at hopefully I'm going to be at Terrificon in Connecticut. As many conventions as I can hit, I will.
How are you driving?
Depends on the con. Like the New Jersey ones, yes. That's why that was obviously a factor too. Like I'd love to hit every con across the nation, but I gotta make sure that I can make it to them. And that's in the budget too. That's when I'm budgeting. That's one of the things I'm realizing is I have all these things and I have the energy to do them all.
Right.
But one thing at a time, you know?
Yeah. So have you prioritized those and into like different groups or anything?
Yes, I literally had a list of like, okay, like dream cons that I could feasibly do, but is it worth it? You know, like stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't think about and don't realize too. Because usually you can sell pretty good at cons. Sometimes there are some bad times, and if you're not good at selling, or if you don't push yourself,
which I think I'm pretty decent at selling. We'll see how I do this weekend, but I'm pretty confident in my ability. I think also it's great for the networking is unparalleled at cons. It's good in online too, but there's something about that in-person connection that'll give you that extra chance, because you're extra memorable if you meet someone in person.
Yep. And they connect your face with the book and everything. I mean, it's
exactly. And again, the more books I have to sell at cons, the better too. Right now I have 1 book to sell. I'll have 2 this year. Hopefully 3 by the end of the year. So again, how many books I have this year depends entirely on the interest and how much money I can make off of it,
Yeah. And has anything, even if it's just in your mind, has anything expanded more within the Phenomenova universe of like spinoffs or whatever you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, literally the first day of it getting in people's hands, people were asking for a Crusader Corps spinoff, which I have already alluded to. Crusader Corps being, the heroes that fought during World War III, which I've wanted to do. And I was almost thinking, I was like, maybe I should launch it this year. I'm like, no, slow your roll. Let them beg for it a little more. Once I'm confident I can keep hitting the Phenomenova at a regular pace, then I'd love to start my first spinoff. And that would probably be Crusader Corps. Although I have a feeling, she's in Crusader Corps, but people are going to want more of the Phoenix Senshi after issue 2. I get a feeling. I would love to keep Phenomenova at a regular pace, even spin-off stories, like one-off issues, like how the X-Men had, how they'd have Wolverine goes here for this issue. Nightcrawler goes here. I'd get fill-in artists to do stuff. Like I would love to, if I can I want Phenomenova to be my flagship title. But I mean, I have a 10-pager that I released that I'd love to make a full book out of. That's got a hot chick with guns. So that one's going to sell. That one's an easier sell,
Right.
I remember it was like I was in college. It was Land of Lawless was his first 10-page short story. I think I have it downstairs. And I remember I was like, all the stuff that I was being told I can't do by the media and by my professors, I'm like, all right, let's roll that all into one character. Boom. She's hot. She loves America. She loves guns. There we go.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is going to be boring if it's just reactionary. So I came up with a story, a character that I loved.
Yeah. Characters are important.
The most important thing, I say. I put my whole world, everything I build around my character arcs, and
Yeah. Well, I think, the bad thing is, like, for me, like right now, and there may be a couple exceptions, but I think Marvel is making trash right now, because I've read checked out.
Yeah, wow. Stunning.
A few but I mean, it's just the quality of the writing and the art. Whereas DC has been putting out a few good things, but Marvel, it's just bad. But yet they're pummeling DC in sales. I mean, they're just destroying. Which to me says like all the people care about is either the covers or the characters, and not really the story.
Let me ask you a question. What's canon at DC right now?
I mean, it depends on if you
exactly. That's the point. Marvel, it's always canon. You could hate it and whatever, but like DC, they're doing all this absolute stuff, and that'll take off for a bit. I don't know what's canon. There was a time when I first was getting into comics where Tim Drake, literally, they said he was never Robin.
Yeah,
they said he was never Robin.
Yeah,
that is insanity. Beast Boy was Red. Cyborg was never a Teen Titan. Martian Manhunter was not a founding member of the team. This was when I was just getting into comics, and that's why when the New 52 was out, I would dip my toes in, but I never went fully in because I was like, so it's up is down, left is right. What's going on? Oh, it's rebooted again. In my lifetime alone, they have done so many different launches of the DC universe, and I'm like, so you can follow a run for however many years, and they'll just go bye. Check it out.
Are either of you guys buying new books from the big two?
I was going to actually into the store to get one. I was like, you know what? I'll try, even though they destroyed the X-Men. I was like, I want to try Magic. Plus, I'm doing a video on her.
Yeah.
And she has a new issue. And I was like, you know what? I'll try this issue 1. I've wanted her to get a series. If as angry as I am with the X-Men office and all of that, and I am, I'm like, you know what? Let's give this a try. And then they were like, Diamond was delayed a week, so they had the copies. And I was like, that's weird. Oh, and then I got the news after. I'm like, that would explain why they delayed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I normally don't. But every time Chris Claremont's writing his miniseries stuff that's set during the old comics, then I'll read it. Yeah. But the modern stuff, it's like, what's the point? So an editor can come in and tell you to change the characters halfway through your story. What's
I will say, and okay, I will say this: the Aliens comics have been pretty good. The ones that I've checked out.
Are you buying new comics?
Not a ton. I have been checking out some, especially because I know, like we have like Chris Cross and some other people are doing some stuff in mainstream still. So I'll like check out especially like their stuff. And he has a new thing that he's doing with the X-Men too, actually. I can't remember what it is, but I think that comes out really soon. But the X-Men comics have been the Aliens comics have been really good. And the Avengers versus Aliens comics have been good because they actually set it in like a future timeline. So it's kind of Earth is different, but it's actually really well developed and really well done. But and I hear, what's his face? The guy who's super smart that I don't think you like. He's not very good at dialogue. He's good at world building. Jonathan Hickman.
Oh man, Hickman. I have mixed thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I with his X-Men was the first thing I read. It's also I keep putting everything on a to read list instead of just reading, and that is my problem.
Yeah.
And to watch list and everything, and then I go back to watching YouTube videos. So that's my biggest problem. Like there's books like I've read the whole Ghost Machine team, and I haven't read those yet. I read some of Geiger and I liked it, but I never kept going. But anyway,
me too.
God, I need to get back to that. But and catch up on all that. But anyway, I think God, I would say I liked where was okay, Hickman. So Hickman, I was like the initial idea was cool. And what I liked about it, I was like, this is so crazy. The X-Men would never do this. But here's the thing, and I was reading it. I had seen videos and stuff talking about how bad modern comics are and whatever, right? And I'd even, but I hadn't really, I was now really excited to get into it. Now that I was reading Claremont's Run for the first time, it was a perfect time to be an X-Men fan. And I'm reading and I'm going, okay, well, I can't wait for the reveal that the X-Men are mind controlled or brainwashed. It wasn't even like a question of whether that would happen. I knew it would happen. Because it couldn't fathom the possibility that this was actually something these characters would do.
Right.
And then they got to stuff like, I think one of the breaking points was when I get to, there's an issue 1, the diagram of the Summers house. And they have Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops have connecting ruse, implying that they're all like a throuple.
Right.
And I was like, is this real?
Yeah.
I was like, this has got to be a joke. And I was like, well, maybe. And I was like, there's no practical. I was like, and this, like, they let this go through. And then there was another line where, and it was a couple of things in modern comics that took me out. There was another line where it was like, and again, maybe it's just editorial going through him, but the fact of the matter is, it's still polluting his run. Like, there was a moment where X-23 is like, I'm Wolverine, and Wolverine behind the panel, he's almost looking directly at the audience going, you tell him, girl. And I'm like, okay, why are we insisting on having 2 Wolverines? Why can't we just have
girl power?
Yeah, I'm like, and I've read like, because Claremont's Run was always praised for having these strong female characters, and I'm like, I don't remember anything like that ever.
Right.
In the whole run.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't,
7 issues in, and it's like, dude, you're not accomplishing. I just made a short talking about this. If you're having a strong female character in 2025, you have done nothing new. There's nothing to celebrate. They've been doing that for decades. It's totally normal.
Yeah, but that's not the perception that they preach.
Yeah,
That everything in the past. Yeah, it's sad. It's tough. I will say it's yeah. I don't envy them for having difficult. I don't know. It's hard to run a massive universe like that. I will say. Because I had a small taste of it with the audio drama thing and it just kept growing and growing, and we're like, oh man, this is becoming a logistical nightmare to balance all stuff.
That Jeff is suing. Is it DC?
I may. we're still discussing right now, but yeah,
It sounds like they're giving ground.
It's interesting. I will say the interesting thing is that okay, when their character was created, their Sorrow Lantern, when he was created like in 2011, and I had created my character, the Sorrow, like 8 years before that, and had it published by 2 publishers, technically 3, including IDW. That their character didn't. He only had 1 or 2 similarities with mine, and they've been kind of evolving him over the last few years, and then now he's extremely similar to mine. And he's got like 7 or 8 different connections to mine, and they're no longer, it sounds like, from everything the artist and the writer and other people and some of the promo stuff have been saying, they're not even calling him Sorrow Lantern anymore. They're just calling him Sorrow. And it's like that was where I was like, this is too close. They have 7 or 8 like core thing. And when he was like originally created, he wasn't Sorrow incarnate. He was just this really sad guy, basically. And my character was Sorrow incarnate. And now they're making him Sorrow incarnate because they're trying to boost him up as like this major player, as a major villain. And I'm like, okay, this is not cool, especially because when they do that, and you know this from video games and everything else, that now, like when you make these people into these other like major, heroes or villains, then they're naturally just going to become part of video games as like a skin somebody can have, or they're going to be the villain of the week on a DC TV show, or they're and there's all these, and then even when there's groups of villains that are like in a picture of different things that they're like selling and stuff, like he could be. I was like, this is like, thousands, if not millions of dollars they could be making. They could potentially be making off of this, and that was where I was like, okay, yeah, this is really not cool. And so yeah, and they were asking questions, and I'll just share this because who knows, maybe Vaughn will enjoy this. And I will say this, Vaughn, I actually made a really cool post. Pat myself on the back, but actually I didn't do a lot of research on it, but I did it for other creators, and I basically went through and like if you look at my feed sometime, it says like why creators should care about corporations infringing on their rights, and I went through and listed basically the financial potential that those corporations can make from characters and stuff, or from things that are so people actually know and understand, this is what they could be, making from something that is from yours, or even if you intentionally or unintentionally, if you have precedence and yours was created first, then you need to be concerned about it, especially because they have, major publishing stuff and all of that. All of that presence that would be out there across all the different platforms would like drown my character. And so it does infringe on the possibilities of anything I could do with mine. So yeah, basically the publisher that small indie publisher that's doing my character right now, they wanted them to reach out to the writer. The writer had passed that on to DC Legal. DC Legal contacted one of the guys at Starcross Comics, is the indie comic thing. Reach out to one of the guys, and then they also messaged another guy there, who both gave DC Legal my number and my email, which DC Legal has not reached out to me. So, and that was like 5 days ago. So wow. the things that they said was almost implying like, because they said that, you know, yeah, we don't like it, and we don't like it when two publishers have characters that are too similar, and so and obviously it's like, oh, so they're saying they're going to stand down and not publish theirs. You know, it's like, no, DC's not going to do that. They're trying to kind of passive aggressively, lightly bully the indie publisher to not. And I was like, and I mean, and I was like, hell no. You know, it's like that's.
Have you reached out to John De La Rose?
Yeah. Did you see that he did a thing on it?
No.
He did. Oh yeah, he did a video on it, which I was surprised. And he actually called me a very nice creator, which was great, because he and I have not talked that much. But I was a little shocked that he said that, just because we don't know each other that well. But he said he addressed it, and he kind of echoed what was in the Bleeding Fool article. And I know there's some other people talking about stuff, but now I have I actually have a meeting on Friday with the major. I have a lawyer that's involved, but I have a major lawyer interested that I'm supposed to meet with on Friday. So it's
not Gamal, is it?
No, it is not Gamal. Unfortunately, I don't know that I could afford Gamal. I don't know if he. We'll see. And it all depends on, they have a thing for anybody out there that needs to know. There's a contingency agreement that some lawyers do where you actually don't have to pay all the legal fees and everything until your case is settled.
Have you reached out to the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund?
No, I probably should.
Give it a try.
Yeah? Okay.
I'll have to talk to you about some legal stuff then, because I'm still setting up my company and everything.
Yeah, especially, and that's one of the weird things too, is like, even to just think about it, is that, you know, that the characters are the things they might create, or a book or world or whatever. It may not start as something close to yours, but then because they're around for a while, it may morph into something that is closer and closer to yours, and then that's when it gets really, really difficult, and definitely something to watch for. But enough about me. that's it's a thing.
It is. All right.
But did you want to show anything else from your stuff, or touch on any of your other things?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just I've got my YouTube channel. I've been trying to do more content lately. I've been talking about like the Sonic stuff, but I'm more interested, and I want to cover a lot more current stuff if I can, as well as stuff I'm interested in. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I want to dive into some comic history. But for my comic, I mean, the best way, the mailing list is a great way. You just go to my website. Also, you can buy Phenomenova issue 1 on RebelOasisStudios.com. And this is going to be my central hub, really. You can go here, and here you could do, so you've got my store. Then you can also, obviously, you could sign up for the mailing list right here. Wanted to keep it nice and simple. There's the digital store you can go to, and that leads you to Global Comics. The campaign is embedded here, but I'd actually recommend just straight up going to the Fund My Comic website, because the drop-down menus don't show up here. So I'd actually recommend that. But you can go to, if you go to the Coming Soon, you have all these campaign options right here. These, you could sign up for the Kickstarter or Indiegogo if you prefer those platforms. Fund My Comic, of course, we are 93% funded, less than $300 away. And then also you could submit to the Reapers in Pursuit anthology book, which is big. You know, that is a big thing, because that's any writer who wants to submit a short story to that collection can do so. Also, artists can submit, and that deadline is coming up. So make sure you guys submit if you haven't already. We got some good stuff going. Also, there will be a there's a fan art contest for Phenomenova issue 2. So these deadlines are fast approaching. So if you're interested in either of these things, make sure you get out there and promote. I mean,
And
I'm promoting.
Yeah,
Make sure you
yeah.
get that too. You know, if you
That
want to do
too,
my
yeah.
job for me, that'd be great. But make sure if you're an artist that you're getting to work, you got 2 free opportunities to potentially get featured. So why not get to work on them?
What and when does the campaign end?
Campaign ends in March. Ideally, I'd love to send them off to the printer and have them 2 people in March. We'll see how things go, but that's my ideal plan.
I have 10 days left on a campaign.
Yeah.
Share it.
Leviathan, Sherlock Holmes. Let me show you.
Oh. Okay. Tech Mike, I like it.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but you know, it's this is Sherlock Holmes teams up with Captain Nemo to stop a madman from igniting World War I, which never happened.
When a series of shipping disasters points to a mysterious sea monster, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson leave the comfort of Baker Street and board a freighter where they encounter unexpected betrayal and come face to face with the enigmatic Captain Nemo and his submarine, the Nautilus. As they delve deeper into the case, they uncover a conspiracy involving a Russian Tsar with an airship that rains destruction on unsuspecting cities. With time running out and the world on the brink of war, the heroes must use all their skills and resources to stop a massive conspiracy and prevent global conflict. From Eisner-winning writer Mike Barron and illustrator Richard Bonk, dive into the depths of adventure and unravel the mysteries of the sea with the world's greatest detective in Leviathan. Order now at baroncomics.com.
Groovy, baby.
Good stuff.
It's on Fund My Comic now for 10 more days.
Good stuff. Everyone make sure to get that.
Yeah, did it. I'm waiting for the audiobook version.
You'll be waiting a long time.
See, I could totally picture that. So it's they're kind of hot right now, but I don't know. You guys are all about the visuals. But okay, well, it sounds good. Yeah, definitely go and support Mike's stuff and Vaughn's stuff. They will be ending soon. And if you are an artist and you're wanting to draw sketches or whatever, be a part of the contest, definitely look into that and get into that. It's always good to put your stuff out there so other people can see it.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, it's been a pleasure. It was great. I'm glad I got to come back on today. I'm glad you texted me reminding me too. I was like, oh yeah, that's good because I like to come on the show. It was fun the first time. It was good. Yeah, I need reminders. I have a million Post-its on my desk. And the thing is about talking about it gets the wheels turning.
Yep.
You know, like already I'm like, oh, that gave me an idea. You know. So that's always good.
Yeah, and make sure people keep bugging Vaughn about doing the spinoff stuff too.
Yeah, well, you guys listen, put your money where your mouth is, all right? It's easy to request something, but if you're not gonna buy Phenomenova, I'm not doing spinoffs of books that people aren't buying. So you want the best way to keep those spinoffs. If you want the Crusader Corps book, show your support for Phenomenova. And the more confident I am in that, the more confident I can be in a spinoff. You know, a spinoff, if Phenomenova isn't guaranteed to make money, spinoffs probably not guaranteed to make money. So that's the best way you can support me and the best way to guarantee a spinoff. I want to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah. Yep. He needs to quit the new job he doesn't have yet.
Yeah, exactly. Which you guys gotta help me out with that. And then I'll help you out by giving you the best content as fast as I can, as quality as I can. So
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. We'll see if we can drag you on here a third time.
Oh, you will. You got me.
Yeah, it'll be just like Logan and Jean Grey. And no, I'm joking about.
Okay. I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like,
I'm totally joking.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good one.